Ladies and gents, thanks so much for your patience. We've got our Director of Rugby, Mr. Jake White. Coach, congratulations on that win. We'll start with questions here on the floor and then come to the guys online.
Coach, congratulations on the win. Slow start, same as the game against Ulster. Are you worried about that, or you can't make it?
Yeah, look, I think it's a bit different. It's almost the same as when we played Benetton the last time. We let them get a good start. And as I said to the players now, I'm really happy that we learned from that. Because, I mean, in Benetton, when we let them get a good start, we didn't catch up. So, yeah, it's a massive learning for us. I mean, to go 13-0 down and 16-3 down and still end up winning, 46-29 means that we showed a lot of character. And you're happy with that. Also, I think it's important to think, I mean, first question, but I mean, obviously our thoughts are with Pedro and his family on the loss of their loved one.
Dank je wel, zodat die oorwinning, ek dink die eerste been van die laaste twee wedstryde wat was, is afgelopen dat ons dit tot 5 punte was gekry. Wat my so bietjie herinner het was in die eerste helft oor die afsetpunte waar die manne nie beskerm is hy
ja, luister, ek dink weer eens, jy kan altyd kritiek lewer elke game. En as jy nou dink ons het so nou en dan by die breakdown het ons bietjie inaccurate gewees. Maar kom ons stel dit so, ek dink 3 of 4 keer het ons nie aan ons helfte uitgekom nie van die afskoppe nie. Jy weet, en dit begin daar. So ons het 'n kans gehad om bietjie druk af te vat en miskien vir hulle, jy weet, op die middellyn te kry. En ek dink 3 of 4 keer direk uitgeskop of ons het begin hardloop en die bal weggeskop en so weer eens. Ek dink dit gaan nie net oor die afrukpunte nie. Dit gaan net oor die feit ons moet bietjie kalmte wys en moenie te hastig wees met goed wat ons gedoen het. Onthou, ek dink 3 of 4 keer was ons hulle doellyn en ons die bal laat val ook, so dit wys jou net. Jy weet, daar was kanse. Maar ek het nou gesê ons het vir 2 weke nie gespeel nie. So miskien is daai voorbereiding en die feit dat ons stadig begin het, is miskien ook die feit dat ons nie vir 2 weke gespeel het nie.
Dus my sound like a ground for it would stuck up again. The focus on how many times you get to the red zone and then possible. The worrying factor for you, I mean, against top teams.
Yeah, Chris. I mean, it is a concern. But I mean, you got to. The only time you can measure yourself is the many times you get in. We got in there many times today. We didn't finish. And that's one of the secrets of when you're a really good team and you want to win a competition like this. You've got to make sure that you're not going to get 10 chances in a game. I know we got a few today, but when you play the big sides and I'm not taking away from Benetton. People think Benetton is an easy game. They're tough. They're very tough. They're not only tough physically, they're also tough to play against. They don't go away and and look how they defended their trial. I mean, the reality is we had to work hard when we were in there to finish off those moves. I think Marcel dropped the ball once, and I think Mornay Smith dropped the ball once. And, as I said, there were a couple of times that, but to answer your question, I mean, we're going to have to improve on that if we want to get better. But it's also a nice place to be when you know that that's the area that you can improve. I mean, a lot of things that we've worked on that are getting better and better as well.
I've got 2 other questions, but not concerned this game, so I will ask it after that.
Of course, and could you also question in English? I was looking at the look at the last update. What is the expectation for the last 2 matches you're getting on dress for now? Next week, and then you guys are participate. Is there any chance of you guys still making that top 4 in your opinion? Yeah,
there is. I mean, tomorrow the sun comes up, so that's as given as sure. I mean, if I just said to someone earlier before the game, I mean, who would have thought that South African sides are all vying for for one of the top spots? I mean, as it works out now, I think the Stormers, if things go their way, they could be number 1 next week. And that's why, I mean, who would have said 6 weeks ago that there's a chance that, so, I mean, we can only control, Percy, what we can control. We've got 2 games left, 1 at home and 1 away. And we've got to make sure we play as well as we can and get wins. And whatever happens around that, we can't control. We can only control on those 2 results.
Can I ask a question on the concept?
Zeker.
Because you basically given a somber note gegooid met dat iets ons die span everyone. Iets volgens voor homself en dan wat is jullie doelwit in Afrika? comes forward in the last.
Ja, so eerstens dan ek het Pedro geken, eintlik het ek hom afgerig onder 21s. Daai jaar het hy toets rugby gespeel teen Frankryk se eerste toets vir Rudolf. So ek ken hom goed en ek het net nou gesê, jy weet, dit is hartseer dat 'n jong man soos hy 100 keer, meer as 100 keer gespeel vir die Bulle, en ek het 'n statistiek vandag gekry, 99 wedstryde, 99 wedstryde gespeel in 'n ry. Dit is ongelooflik om te dink wat se, jy weet, wat se, hoe kan ek sê, dis vir my is ongelooflik dat as 'n forward kan jy 99 games in 'n ry vir jou provinsie speel. So ja, ek het net nou gesê ons voel vir hom, ons voel vir sy familie, jy weet, en almal naby hom. En ons wens hom met al ons denke en goed is jy weet, is saam met ons. En dan tweedens ja, presies, ons kan net kontrol wat ons moet kontrol en dis ons speel 2 wedstryde. Jy weet wat om ons gebeur, dis die eerste keer in 'n lang tyd en ek sê dit nie arrogant nie of weet ons is in die Super Rugby unlocked en ons was in die Currie beker of ons is altyd bo, jy weet, of tweede op die table en iewes skielik nou is ons, jy weet, ons veg vir die kwart uit en jy weet as jy so speel en jy kry 5 punte en jy weet jy veg terug om van 16-3 af te kom en weer eens te wen, is dit maar vir 'n coach en vir die spelers baie jy weet satisfying vir ons. So ja, ek dink ons moet nie nou te ver voorkyk nie. Ek meen ons het nog steeds 'n game Vrydag aand. Dit gaan Glasgow wees en ons moet seker maak ons is reg vir Vrydag aand.
The last thing from my kant af is dat I dink ons was storie is ons agterlyn begin gewees met die die Hendriks ook nou of so
Ja.
ons binne senters was eintlik
Presies.
Maar ek dink as jy kyk na Wellington se span, ek meen daar was 11 spelers wat teen Wallis gespeel het.
Ja.
En hulle Wallis gekom. So ek dink as mens daarna kyk
100%. En onthou, dis nie 'n verskoning nie, maar wat ek ook baie blywend is Harold het laaste, jy weet, einde van die week het hy onttrek. Toe gaan Connell binne senter toe en toe's hy vroeg in die game ook af. Jy weet so, ek meen 'n jaar, 2 jaar terug van nou af. Terug het ons miskien daai kombinasie gesukkel, maar ek dink Stedman het redelik goed gedoen. Lionel is van 13 na 12 toe, so ja, dit is 'n ontwrigting, maar ek dink hoe meer ons by mekaar oefen en baie meer by mekaar bly, gaan ons daai tipe vrae kry en ons hopelik gaan ons dit so aanvat.
Is er onnodig?
Last 2 coach, this game.
Yes.
Playing Currie Cup and the university at the same time.
Yes.
Your squad.
Yes.
Players that play in both
Yes.
competitions.
Yes.
And the other, there are talks that Springboks could join the Six Nations in the future.
Yeah.
How is this competition in your view preparing that sort of competition?
Yeah, look, let me tell you, I've got enough trouble talking about what happens at SA Rugby. So I'm not going to tell you about what I think in terms of Six Nations. It's very simple. You know, we play in this competition. It's fantastic for us. We play in the Rugby Championship. I think it's fantastic that our players get an opportunity to play in the North and the South. And I'm not sure what the talk is going forward. And your first question was what?
Was how training is it going to?
Oh yeah, look, I mean, I'm one of the coaches, as you can see, that we take the Currie Cup very seriously. You know, and so, you know, some guys would say to me, we looked a little bit flat today because we didn't play on Wednesday. And it's funny, when we used to play Wednesday, Saturday, we looked fantastic. So maybe this group of players wants to play every single week, every single day. You know? So, yeah, it's quite ironic. 2-week rest we look flat in the first half. And yet when we play big games, Wednesday, Saturday, we look as though we can play against anybody. So, yeah, I personally and the union take the Currie Cup very seriously, and you know at this point in time we're top of the log there, and obviously defending champions. So we'll keep doing what we have to do to make sure we give ourselves a chance to win it again.
All right, we'll go to the guys online. Ashfaq.
Well done on the win today. It's always nice to talk about improving and fixing mistakes when you've scored 6 tries and 46 points against a team that beat you quite comprehensively last year.
Exactly, Ashfaq. I mean, that's what people forget. You know, last time we played them, they beat us easily. And that's why, you know, as a coach, all you want to see is that there's progression. And 13-0 down, 16-3 down, to come back and win, you know, with a bonus point is, I mean, you can't ask for more than that. There's a lot of highlights and character that coaches want to see. You know, so we'll take a lot of confidence out of that. And hopefully now we'll be able to freshen up and get ready for Friday night.
Jan, and then Ken after Jan.
Thank you. Jake, I think you've partly answered this, but if you look towards, I know you've got another 2 games, but if you look towards the playoffs, which is a real possibility, what are the one aspects that you're most pleased with of your game? And what is the aspect that you think that you still need to give some serious attention to?
Well, look, I mean, the one that I think stands out is we don't finish and we in the 22 as much as we can, and we should, especially when you're going to get limited amount of opportunities. The thing I'm most pleased about is the brand of rugby the Bulls are playing. You know, we get a man of a match as a lock today, and then, you know, we underestimate the fact that Kanan and Madosh and Kirtley were outstanding as well. So, yeah, it's, for me, it's like nice balanced rugby. We can use our forwards sometimes, we can use our backs, and I think that's, when you look at the sides, you know, I don't want to sound like I'm sort of repeating myself, but when we started this competition, I said to you that you're not going to win this game by winning 12-11 and 13-9, and you're going to have to score tries. And if you look how many tries we're scoring now, and we look how many we'd be playing from counter-attack, and how we're looking in terms of ball in hand, I mean, our locks are running and offloading to backs and everything is obviously the most pleasing for me. I just think the style of rugby and the brand we're playing is you know, it's enjoyable. And I'm sure the crowds and the Bull supporters are enjoying the fact that when they do watch us, they feel proud.
Ken?
Sorry, just a quick follow-up. You
Okay.
speak about the brand, and some of what you're playing is similar to what people used to call it basketball rugby and super rugby, but still it excites people. That type of balance, you call it balanced rugby, that type of balanced rugby, that balanced game.
Yeah. I mean, you know, that's why I say, you know, we can score more tries, which we've done. You know, we can score full range length of the field tries. I mean, that try that Kirtley counter-attacked out of his half, and then it went through Kanan, and then obviously we ended up with Ruan running down the middle of the field, offloading the ball. You know, that is, I think that's where rugby is going. And if you want to win these competitions, you've got to be able to play like that. As I said, you can't go into your shell and you know, and think you can only play one way. You've got to have different, you know, different arrows on your bow. And the more we play together, and the more this combination sticks together, obviously that cohesion will come. And you know, we're not close to where we want to be yet. We you know, obviously we work in progress, but when you can get a result like that, and you can get some interplay between backs and forwards, and when you need to muscle up and maul and go hard at the line. I mean, that last try St. Pee scored was a maul you know, from the 5-meter line, and ends up with forwards working hard around the corner. So yeah, it's nice and balanced. And as I said, we're not there, but I'm really pleased that our game's taking shape.
Ken?
Thank you, Kumani. Hi, Jack. Congratulations.
Thanks, Ken.
You mentioned the attack and the finishing that, but in terms of defense, 11 tackles out of 36 missed in the first half. Is that a specific concern, or was that just part of the flat, slow start?
Ken, look, I think it is a little bit of that. I think we're a little bit flat-footed, and that's something we'll have to look at. I mean, again, maybe it might be we haven't played for 2 weeks. I think also, Ken, I mean, a couple of those missed tackles were in the midfield, and I was saying earlier, when you've changed your midfield late in the week, and then you put a new guy into inside center, and then you change it again. I mean, I think the whole sort of, I suppose the communication of who does what and how they fold and all that is going to take a bit of time to work it out. So, you know, I just sort of look back in my head now and think there were a couple of times we probably got the reads wrong and we missed tackles. But there's no doubt that it got better as this team played more and more throughout the game. So, yeah, a little bit of flatness, I suppose, a little bit of combination in terms of them getting to know each other. But as I said, you know, that you're never going to get it right straight up when you're trying different combinations as well.
All right. Okay, Ken, last one.
Yeah, Jake, if I could just go back to Pedro Vandenberg, obviously very sad news. You coached him at the Springboks, and I can remember you joking about how you sometimes struggle to keep him away from the bright lights and things like that. But you had a big soft spot for Pedro, didn't you?
Well, I mean, as I said, I probably biasly knew him as a young boy. I mean, as I said, he made his test debut in 2002, which was straight out of I think that year we won the under-21 World Cup. So he was one of the players who got fast-tracked straight into the national setup. And You know, Pedro, you know, as I said, it's not, he was who he was. And, you know, who would have thought, that's why I said it's such a tragic thing to hear. He lives miles away, miles from his family, went on his own in terms of starting his own, you know, his own life overseas, Ken. But it's not a great thing as a dad. It's not something you want to, you know, wake up and hear. So that's why, again, I repeat myself, we feel as Bulls, and probably me as well, a lot for him.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you very much, Coach Jake.